My dying grandmother grabbed my hand and said, "Find the box under my bed. Burn it before your mother sees it. Promise me." Her grip was stronger than it should have been for someone with hours left to live. Her eyes were wild and desperate in a way I had never seen before. I promised her because what else do you say to a dying woman who raised you when your own mother couldn't be bothered? She passed 3 hours later holding my hand while my mother sat in the cafeteria eating a sandwich. After the funeral, I drove to grandmother's house before the estate lawyers could arrive. My mother was already planning to sell everything and pocket the money without giving me a cent, which was exactly what I expected from her. I went straight to the bedroom and got on my knees beside the old wooden bed frame. There was a metal lockbox pushed against the wall covered in decades of dust. My hands were shaking as I pulled it out. The lock was rusted, but grandmother had pressed the key into my palm right before she stopped breathing. Inside was a stack of papers and photographs held together with a rubber band so old it crumbled when I touched it. The first photo made my stomach drop. It was my mother as a teenager holding a baby in a hospital bed. The date on the back said she was 17 years old. I was born when she was 24. I kept digging and found a birth certificate for a baby girl born 7 years before me. The father's name was blank, but the mother was definitely mine. There was a death certificate clipped to it dated 3 days after the birth. My mother had a baby that died and never told anyone. I almost stopped there, but grandmother told me to burn everything, so there had to be more. Underneath the documents was a leather journal with my grandmother's handwriting. I opened it to a random page and my blood went cold. The baby did not die. My grandmother wrote that my mother wanted to give the baby away because she was too young and too selfish to raise a child. A family from another state adopted her and grandmother was sworn to secrecy. My mother told everyone the baby was stillborn so people would feel sorry for her instead of judging her. I sat on that dusty floor reading 40 years of secrets. My grandmother visited the adopted child once a year in secret until the girl turned 18. There were photos of birthday parties and graduations that my grandmother attended without my mother ever knowing. The girl grew up happy with parents who loved her. Her name was Della and she had my mother's eyes and my grandmother's smile. The last entry was dated 2 months ago. Grandmother wrote that Della had been trying to find her biological family. She had taken a DNA test and matched with distant relatives on my mother's side. She was getting closer to the truth. Grandmother was terrified my mother would find out and destroy Della's happiness out of spite. She wrote that she had to protect Della one last time, even if it meant taking the secret to her grave. She begged whoever found this journal to burn everything so my mother could never use it to hurt anyone. I sat there for an hour trying to decide what to do. My mother would absolutely use this information as leverage or worse. She would probably try to extort money from Della's adoptive family or show up demanding a relationship she never earned. But Della deserved to know the truth about where she came from. I made a decision that grandmother probably would not have approved of. I took photos of everything, then burned the originals in the fireplace like I promised. The next week, I found Della through her social media and sent her a message. I told her I was her biological half-sister and that I had information about her birth mother if she wanted it. She called me within an hour, crying so hard she could barely speak. We talked for 3 hours and I told her everything except our mother's current address. I warned her that our mother was not a good person and would only bring pain into her life. Della said she had suspected as much based on being given away so easily. She said she just wanted to know her medical history and maybe meet any siblings who actually wanted to know her. We met in person a month later and I gained the sister I never knew I had. Our mother found out eventually because she always does. She called me screaming about betrayal and family loyalty, which was hilarious coming from her. I told her that grandmother's dying wish was to protect Della from her and that I intended to honor it. She has not spoken to me since. I consider that a gift. Della and I talk every week now. She said grandmother would visit her every year on her birthday with a small gift and never explained who she was. Della always wondered about the kind old woman who seemed to love her for no reason. Now she finally understands.